12 days. And then we're going to be over on the Icon of the Seas very shortly. Hey, YouTube, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. It's been so long. It's been so long since we've been on. I don't even remember what I'm saying anymore, folks. Hey, Rick, how are you? Good to see you. Cindy's here. Carl's here. Hey, how's everybody doing? No, not Carl. Dave. Colonel Dave Dixon, how are you? How are you? So, folks, here's what we're doing tonight. We're talking about Oceania cruises. Oceania is your first step into luxury cruising. And the reason why I say it's your first step into luxury cruising. Hey, Yandi, how are you? First step into luxury cruising because it's kind of that next step. You know, you got Princess, we got Celebrity, we got Virgin Voyages, maybe Holland America, and then you got Regent and Viking and Seabourn and Silverstein way up here, right in between. We got Oceania, which surprisingly prices out really well against some of the other mainstream cruise lines, especially when you add in everything that's included. And that's kind of what got us really starting to look more at Oceania when we said, you know, the other cruise lines are all raising their rates, they're cutting back this, they're cutting back that, they're making so many changes. And then you've got Virgin Voyages, which is almost all inclusive. You got Oceania, almost all inclusive. And we're starting to lean more into some of that because we are hearing from you that, hey, we don't like that XYZ is cutting back things. We don't like that XYZ is raising their rates, and it doesn't seem like the value is as good with some of the others.
And we don't like feeling nickeled and dimed.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you get on the ship, you paid one fare to get on the ship, and then you end up paying, you know, twice, 3 times by the time you're done with the cruise. So we're starting to look into Oceania, and we literally just spent 12 days on the Oceania Sirena, by far the smallest cruise ship that we have ever sailed on. Those of you who joined us from YouTube, you were just watching a 3-minute clip of that beautiful ship cutting through the water. And so what we wanted to do tonight was just kind of, you know, obviously we're going to answer all your questions that we can, but I know there's a lot of questions about, you know, small ship luxury cruising. Is it like super expensive? What do you really get for it? Do you have to wear a suit and tie all the time? And so we thought we'd kind of talk a little bit about that tonight. So first of all, what is Oceania Cruises? So Oceania is small ship luxury cruising. The ship that we sailed on was the Oceania Sirena. She's one of 4 regatta class ships that they have, 650 passengers. Hey, Becky, how are you? I'm sorry. Good to see you, Becky. Thanks so much for joining in. So what, yeah, the free at sea. The Norwegian free at sea is not so free, says Colonel Dixon. You are absolutely correct. Nothing in the world is free. Even on Oceania, you know, you're paying in advance, but you don't feel nickel and dime once you get onto the ship. And just so everybody knows, Oceania is actually owned by Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. So you've got Norwegian Cruise Line, you got Oceania, you got Regent. Is there another one? I think it's just those 3 are all sister ships in the cruise line. So Oceania Cruises. So first of all, it is luxury cruising, and the ship that we were on was only 650 passengers. It was absolutely amazing. If you've been watching on the YouTube,
double occupancy.
Yeah, 650 double occupancy. We had 651 on the ship, and we were full. The cabins were full. They had 1 cabin that was not in use during the cruise. And if you haven't seen yet, on TikTok channel, I have put already a bunch of videos up there on the Oceania Sirena on the food. They are coming to YouTube. I was having all kinds of trouble uploading to YouTube while we were on the ship. So I'm going to start bringing those to YouTube over the next few days. I put a couple of clips up there already, but you're going to start seeing more. Hey, Christy, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor. And as always, I'm sitting here with my wife, Rebecca. And we like to talk all things cruising. And typically we do this on Sunday morning on TikTok and YouTube. And then on Thursday nights, we do it on YouTube. And we like to have a guest on. But tonight, it's just going to be the 2 of us because we literally just got back from 19 days of cruising. we had 7 days of cruising, 5 days home on a cruise ship. We're home for 2 days, and we're right back on a cruise ship on Sunday or Saturday. Then 10 days after that, we'll be on the Icon of the Seas, which is on her way over from Puerto Rico. So I can't wait to take you guys onto that. But tonight, let's talk about Oceania. Oh, my goodness gracious. So Oceania, they have what's called the Simply More program. And this is one of the reasons why we're really starting to lean into Oceania so much. They are nearly all inclusive. So Happy New Year, Roger. Good to see you. So with Oceania, when you look at the cruise fares on their website or when you talk to me, you've got the Simply More program. So what's included when you just a pit stop before sea? Yeah, I know, just enough time to do laundry, which Rebecca's doing because I would just destroy it. Let me tell you, I would not. You don't want me doing laundry. But the Simply More program at Oceania. Number one, you got 2-for-1 cruise fares. Number two, you got round trip airfare is included. So when you see the cruise fares on the website, you can turn them off, but when you see them standard, the airfare is actually wrapped in there. Now, if you're traveling domestic here in the US, more than likely you can get a better rate on the airfare, sometimes even internationally. So you can take off either like $1,200 to $1,400-ish on the cruise fare rates that you see on there. If you do use their air, though, you get free airport transfer as well. You get free shore excursion. Now, depending on the length of the cruise, you can get up to $1,400 in shore excursion credit. Yeah, that's $1,400 for you to spend on the shore excursion, whatever you want to do. Happy New Year, Stephen. How are you? Good to see you. And then you get free champagne, wine, and beer during the meal. So lunch and dinner, you have house wine, you got house champagne, and you've got a selection of beer. That's included in the cruise fare, okay? Then you get gourmet specialty dining. Really, you just get gourmet dining everywhere. So you've got the buffet. You've got the Waves Grill, which is out by the pool. You've got specialty restaurants. Depending on the ship, you could have 2 or more restaurants on the ship. And of course, you've got the big grand dining room. All of that is included, even the quote unquote specialty restaurant included. There is no extra charge for any food on the ship. Now, oh, and then you also get the unlimited Wi-Fi. So you're getting Wi-Fi. So all of that, when you see the cruise fare, all of that is wrapped in. It doesn't matter if you get an interior, it doesn't matter if you get a suite. All of that is rolled in.
And your favorite part, specialty coffees are included.
Mm-hmm.
And sodas are included. In fact, they stock your stateroom mini fridge with sodas.
Yeah, so they fully stock the mini fridge with sodas. The specialty coffee is free. In fact, there's a 24-hour coffee machine sitting up in the Horizons Lounge up in the front. Americano, espresso, cappuccino, just push the button and boom, and it's real cream. It's not that powdery stuff, so it's really, really nice. So all of that is included. So when you get on the ship, the only thing that you have left to pay for, if you didn't pay for it in advance, are the gratuities. So talk about no nickel and diming. And when I say everything is included, so let's talk about lunchtime at the pool grill, all right? Lunchtime at the pool grill, at the Waves Grill, they will do surf and turf every single day. Now that is lobster medallions and a fillet of steak cut up into chunks, and that's your sandwich every single day. You want extra you want to do a surf and serve, just lobster, maybe lobster shrimp, that's all, you can have that as well. I actually did the surf and turf burger, where I got the burger and I had them do the lobster medallions, and oh my God. And when I say burgers, these are real burgers. These are handmade patties that are, I mean, these are really good hamburgers. Now, in the buffet at night, every night, made to order, lobster tails, shrimp, sirloin steak, lamb chops, fish of the day. I think those are the 5 items. Literally every single night, you could have lobster, shrimp, and steak if you wanted it. And it's all cooked to order. All of it. Cooked to order while you wait. Unfreaking believable. In the mornings, of course, they had the omelet station, but they even had blue cheese. They had so many things that they could put into that omelet. And every day, even at lunch, there were cooking stations because you don't have 1,000 people converging on the buffet at once. You got a couple hundred people converging on the buffet at once. Happy New Year, Desiree. Thank you so much. You're so kind for the super sticker. We really do appreciate that. Oh, thank you so much. I hope everybody had a very, very happy New Year. And I'm starting the new year talking about food, my favorite thing, food on a cruise ship. So when we say all included and food, we mean all included in food. And the dining room meals, I would say, were better than some of the specialty dining meals that we've had on other ships. Just unbelievable. And I gotta say, the coolest thing that we were introduced to by our future cruise consultant, Sella, at lunch, they have a little section in there called Flavors of the World. And what it is 6 items, tapas style, that represent a region or a country. Italy, Scandinavia, Spain, something. And it comes out as an entree as 6 little tapas. Oh my God.
Or you can share it as an appetizer.
Yeah, or you can share it as an appetizer. Oh my God, it was so freaking good. And just everything. I mean, y'all on YouTube, you haven't seen all the food yet. It's coming. Over on TikTok, you've seen some of the food. You haven't seen all of it yet. I've got to get the Tuscan steak up there very, very soon. So let me get to some questions over here. Colonel Dixon said, "You think you saw an Oceania cruise that sailed on Lake Michigan that looked interesting?" That would have been Viking. Oceania does not have the small ships that go in there. You probably saw like the Viking Octanus, possibly, that was in there, or Octanus, I think they call it. That was a purpose-built ship for the Great Lakes, and she also goes down around South America. So that was not Oceania, but it was Viking. And they are very similar cruise lines. Viking is considered higher end. And according to the people who were on our ship, who have been on both, they said, yeah, Viking is definitely a higher level than this. That is next on our list.
At least most of the people said.
Yeah, most of the people. There was one guy who was very insistent that Viking was not good, but that's okay. That's okay.
Everybody has a wine they like. Oh my God.
So. How did 12 days feel? Christy, good question. How did 12 days feel? Did you start getting cabin fever, or was it enough time to get a feel of a ship? Rebecca and I were talking about this multiple times, and that was the most relaxed I think we have ever been on a cruise. It was just so incredible how relaxing that was to be on that particular ship. And I think it comes down to a couple of things. So I told you 650 passengers. There were almost 400 or just over 400 crew. So you do the math of like that. It's almost like a 1-to-1 ratio, right? So the crew was not, what we noticed right away was in the dining room. You know how a lot of times you go into a big main dining room and the crew's like they're hustling, right? Because they've got, I don't know, 20, 30 tables. Well, here we had like up to 4 servers working our table. And it was just, come on over, put the plate down. How you doing? A little conversation, make sure everything's okay. And then walk away. Next one comes in, doing this, doing that. Like they actually had time to talk to us. They were not rushing. Yeah, there was efficiency happening. They were moving at a good pace, but it wasn't like they were just flying, struggling. Oh yeah, I got to get these 2 things over here. I got to get that thing over there. I got to get this over here.
They weren't trying to get you in and out as quick as possible.
No, they were like, we could have sat there all night long and they couldn't have cared less.
I mean, if you wanted to get in and out quickly as possible, you could just tell them that and they would do it. But
we had nothing to rush off to. So overall, like the entire ambiance of the service, if you will, was efficient, but not rushed. Like we never felt rushed anywhere with anything. The buffet service was outstanding. The dining room service was outstanding. The Tuscan steak and red ginger service was outstanding. So incredibly over, yes, madame, yes, sir, like a very proper service, but super friendly. That's the thing, it wasn't stuffy. They were friendly. I think we had the best cruise director we've ever had. Carson was just simply amazing. What I'm really excited to show you guys, they allowed me to do interviews. So I have interviews with the general manager of the ship, with the future cruise director, and I've got Carson, who was our cruise director. Absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to bring those to you guys. Loving life, hello. Jada Kathy, how was the internet? Strong enough to do work while at sea? You're thinking of a longer repositioning cruise. So right now, Oceania does not have Starlink except on one ship, or actually on a couple of ships. Yeah. They're rolling out Starlink throughout the fleet, supposed to be on the entire fleet by the end of 2024. That being said, I was able to work. I had the high speed. Rebecca had the complimentary. Everybody gets Wi-Fi on the ship. Rebecca had the complimentary. There actually wasn't a whole lot of difference between the two. I never did try to do a live stream. I was concerned that maybe the live stream was going to work. Maybe it wasn't. But certainly good enough. I booked about 12 to 14 cruises while we were on the cruise, and I was able to make calls over Wi-Fi pretty reliably. There were times that they would drop off and just not be happy, but I was able to work. Now, I will say that maybe things that took me 10 minutes to do at home might take me 30 to 45 minutes to do on the ship. So it wasn't blazing fast. Other ship like MSC was much faster. I don't know if they have Starlink or not. So it just depends on the ship you're going on. Also depends on where you're going. The Caribbean is really saturated. So the Caribbean has really good coverage. You start going transatlantic, you start going over to Europe. I mean, we see the rockets going off almost like twice a week out of our backyard. I mean, they're sending up Starlink satellites like crazy to get more coverage out there. So it just really depends on the ship you're on and where you are in the world, how the coverage is going to be. Because some of the ships that have Starlink have not fully upgraded their infrastructure. So even though we got all the speed coming into the ship, it's not necessarily passing on down to the consumer. So yeah, so the internet was certainly good enough for me to work. I mean, I need it to work because I'm working from the ship. Every time I go on a cruise, it's a working cruise. So yeah, I have to get on. Got to get on the internet. I got to be able to make calls. I got to be able to stay in communication with my clients. And everybody's kind of cute. They're like, "Oh, we don't want to interrupt your vacation." Well, it's not really a vacation anymore. It's a working vacation, especially this one. So we wanted to get on Oceania because we have a big Alaska group cruise coming up. And of course, we needed to know more about the cruise line. And so I told you about the Simply More program. So all of that, so there's so much included. So when you see that cruise fare, there is so much included right off the bat. And number two, there's no, just like Virgin, there's no photographers on the ship. That's a nice change of pace. There are children. This is not an adults-only cruise line. And on this particular cruise, they had the most children they had ever had on the Sirena, which was hilarious. They had 52 children, 53 children out of 651 guests. So that's actually a lot of kids for a ship that is not designed for children. There's literally nothing on the ship for them to do. But I will say, for the most part, they were a lot of very well-behaved kids. There were a lot of fun kids. We had a ball watching some of them.
There were a few times.
There were a few times where the pool turned into a jungle gym.
Yeah, a couple of times. But, honestly, I don't blame the children because it's just not designed for children.
Right.
I think perhaps the parents did not necessarily make the best decision for the entire family.
Yeah. I mean, when you're booking a cruise for the holidays and you're going to bring young kids, like you're going to bring kids that are, say, 11 and under, Oceania Sirena is not the ship that I would pick for them. They need things to do. And the fact that they kind of turned the pool into a jungle gym was not on them because there was literally nothing else to do on the ship except there was a mini golf course up in the front.
And a ping pong table.
So what else is there? You got ping pong, you got mini golf, and you've got a ship to run around on. So, so it's more the parents were like, well, we want to go on this ship and we're just going to bring the kids with us. But like I said, for the most part, they were very well behaved. We were impressed. They told us, typically 10, maybe 20 kids is the most they'll ever have on there. I would not encourage bringing kids onto the Oceania ship just because they, go take them on something that has at least some water slides on it. Something like that. Maybe has a couple hundred more kids so that they can go run around and have some more fun with the kids. But
that being said, if your kid is, happy sitting with a coloring book or reading.
Yeah. Or a teenager who's a mature teen. Like I met a kid on there that I think he was 16 and ran into him a couple times. And last night I said, so what'd you think? He's like, man, this was an awesome cruise. And it was the last thing I thought I was going to hear from him. But he thought it was a great cruise. He loved it. The fact that I didn't even tell you guys, we had Master Chef Jacques Papin and his family on the cruise ship, which just blew my mind. That was totally unannounced. They did not want anybody to know they were coming. Claudine Papin is the godmother of the ship. So she usually sails on her at least twice a year. And Jacques is the culinary advisor to Oceania Cruise Line for about 10 years or so now. So we got a chance to literally hang out with Jacques and his family on the ship. And it just totally blew my mind. Just totally blew my mind. Here I am sitting with one of my culinary idols on the ship. So that was absolutely amazing. Christy's asking, was this the longest at sea you guys have ever been on? Alaska was land and sea. No, we've been on, we were on our very first cruise was 14 days. We did the Caribbean Princess. We did East and West Caribbean. So that was 14. This was 12. So this is the second longest, and we've done a 10.
And honestly, my preference is for 10 or longer. I honestly really prefer the longer cruises.
Yeah.
But that's a personal preference. You know, everybody has different amounts of vacation time and everybody has different needs in their life. But personally, I like longer.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm looking forward to trying something longer than 14 at some point.
Yeah. I mean, the 7 days are just getting too short for us now. It's like we feel like we're just getting into the ship and then we're getting off. And like, you know, we're about to go on a 4-night on Scarlet because we were invited. And then we're going to go on a 3-night on the Icon of the Seas because we were invited. But, you know, we're not booking these short cruises anymore unless it's just to go try out a ship. I see we have a couple of other questions in here. Vicky, I see you're asking about the Princess cruise out of Galveston. I mean, that's a beautiful ship. If you're looking to cruise out of Galveston, that's an absolutely beautiful ship. 30th year anniversary. I think it's the Regal that's out of there. Regal?
It's changed. It was for a while. It was, I think, the Ruby, but it might be the Regal now.
Well, they just did a big, it's one of the Royal classes. So they just did a huge welcome for it. So yeah, she's a great ship. So, and somebody's going on their first cruise. So folks, tonight we're talking primarily about Oceania Cruises, which is a luxury cruise line. And I will answer some of those questions, but I'm going to get through some of the stuff on the Oceania Cruise Line. And then I'll come back and answer some of your questions. You're welcome, Vicky. If we can help you book that cruise, certainly do reach out. We'll be happy to help out with you guys. Barbados. Hey, if you're going to Barbados, go to the Mount Gay Rum Distillery. That's amazing. I'll tell you that. And first cruise on NCL Epic from Rome to the Greek islands. That sounds amazing. My thoughts are that sounds amazing. Yes, Jacques Pepin. So here's what happened on the first day at sea, the very first full day of the cruise. We got the notification in the room. Here's all these activities. And Rebecca is like, oh, look, they're showing a movie on Jacques Pepin. And she's like, wait a minute, there's a book signing after it. I think he's here. And then sure enough, the announcement was like, make sure you come to the event at 2:30 this afternoon, whereas Jacques Pepin and his daughter will be. I'm like, what? It just blew my mind. Absolutely, Vicky, go ahead and reach out. But so there we are sitting we got ourselves in the theater early. And it turned out we sat ourselves right next to where the family was going to be. And here comes Jacques just walking right. I'm like, oh, hello. How are you, sir? And I'm talking to Jacques Pepin, and he sits down. And then after the event, there is a book signing. So I get my book signed. I'm excited. I go down to the room, get some things. I come back up to the great hall where Jacques is sitting. And Jacques is by himself with his brother-in-law just sitting there. Son-in-law. And I'm like, oh my God, Jacques is just sitting there. There's nobody here. I'm going to walk over and say hello. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting there for 20, 25 minutes talking to Jacques Pepin about my family, his family, food, travel. We were just talking like he's my grandfather. That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like I was talking to my grandfather. And it was absolutely amazing. And then after that conversation, like every time he saw me, he's like, hey, well, how are you? Hey, chef. And that was me. Hey, chef, how you doing, chef? So, and then after his second book signing, like the same thing happened. And it's like Claudine and Raleigh was the husband. And I forget the granddaughter's name. She was just absolutely lovely. The whole family was just absolutely lovely. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hanging out with Jacques Pepin and his family on a cruise. And we did not even expect it. So it just made Christmas and New Year's even more magical. Like even more magical. It was absolutely amazing. So, Macrina's asking me, are there any on? Oh, Rick, you went on a ship with only 138 passengers. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Hurtigruten, I think, has some expedition ships. I think some of the expedition ships are small, like around 70 or so. Macrina is saying, were there any entrees that went above and beyond what you expected? I think everything was kind of above and beyond.
One of the ones from the main dining room that stands out for me was a lobster pad thai.
Mm-hmm. And Rebecca's kicking herself because I had it up in red ginger as well, and she should have gotten it up there.
Yeah, I should have.
Could have probably.
But the miso sea bass you got was amazing.
Yeah, in Red Ginger, they had a miso sea bass. And so here's the thing. Everybody I talked to said, Walter, when you go to Red Ginger, you get the watermelon duck salad. Sounds crazy, right? The duck was cooked so crispy, has such an amazing sauce on it. And then the watermelon was so ridiculously sweet. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever eaten. It was so good. I could have had about 3 orders of the salad and just, nothing else. But then everybody said, oh, well, you got to get the miso glaze sea bass. I got the miso glaze sea bass. Oh my God.
That was really good.
That was really good too. So yeah, so much of it was above and beyond. You know what really blew me away? Actually, was the buffet. It really blew me away. Was the quality of what they were serving on the buffet. Every night they would have most of what was being served down in the main dining room. So Oceania is casual luxury, right? So in the buffet, all day long, you can do shorts, t-shirts, sandals, even at night. Doesn't matter. Dinner time, you can be nice and casual. So if you want to have some of the things that they're serving in the main dining room, now in the main dining room, you got to wear slacks, and you should at least wear either like a polo shirt or a button-down shirt. But it's a casual. There's no jackets are required. No suits are required.
No ties.
I wore nice jeans and I wore my button-down untucked shirts. That's what I wore, and that was perfectly fine.
And I just wore a skirt and a top.
Yeah, so it's not like you have to get super dressed up. But if you don't even feel like doing that, you can just go on up to the buffet, and then you can just kind of be relaxed up there. Vicky, we're talking about Oceania cruises, small ship luxury cruising. We just sailed 12. For those of you just tuning in, we just got off the Oceania Sirena, which is an R-class ship, only 650 passengers. It is a luxury cruise line. It's our first time on the luxury cruise line. We spent 12 days in the Southern Caribbean. In fact, Rebecca has it right here. We're going to talk more about food, Macrina. Let's see what we did. We started out in Miami. We had a sea day. We went to Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. We went to San Juan, to St. Bart's, to Dominica, to Dominica. We went to Grenada. We went to Barbados. We went to Guadeloupe. We went to St. Martin's. And then we had 2 sea days before we came back to Miami. So it was an amazing,
and we didn't,
amazing
if you've left
cruise.
Out of Miami before, you're probably in kind of the main part of the port. Mm-hmm. We were not there. We were kind of off on our own little lonesome.
Yeah, if you've been to Miami, there's like the whole row of ships, right? Well, we were not in that row of ships. We were actually on the other side. If you know where the Royal Caribbean main headquarters is, we were actually right next to that on the other side of the port. So we were all by ourselves. And it was absolutely amazing. Hi, hey, Betty, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in. We mainly picked this itinerary because of Guadeloupe. We've always wanted to go there because one of our favorite TV shows, Death in Paradise, is filmed on the island. Guadeloupe plays the role of Sainte Marie, the fictional country of Sainte Marie, and the show takes place in Honore, the town of Honore, which is really Deschamps. And so we took an excursion over to Deschamps, to the Botanical Gardens, and on the way there, we saw Catherine's Bar. And then at the Botanical Gardens, there is a set there where the original DI got killed. And then when we came back through town to go to the beach, they stopped and we got a picture of the police station. We got a picture of the church. So, it's just so freaking amazing. So that was literally the main reason why we picked this one. This particular itinerary had 4 ports we'd never been to: Dominica, Grenada, St. Bart's, and Guadeloupe. And of those, St. Bart's, we don't really have a reason to go back to that one again.
Yeah, I would say
it's all right.
It's basically, if you're into high-end luxury eating and shopping, you might enjoy it.
And yachts.
It's not really us.
My God, Michael Jordan's yacht was there. I don't know which one it was. They were all so freaking big, but somebody said, oh yeah, Michael Jordan's yacht was in there.
The one with the basketball court, I thought.
Oh, was it the one with the basketball court up front?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. That kind of makes sense. There was one with a helicopter garage too. I kind of like that one. So Oceania. Now, that being a small ship, only 650 passengers, the rooms were small. This is an old ship. That ship was built in 1999. She was refurbished around 2019, something like that last time.
Right before the pandemic.
Yeah, so she was touched up. There were a lot of modern touches to it. The bathroom obviously looked like they were all brand new, and the rooms were smaller. I think our room was supposedly around 160 square feet ish, something like that. So it was a fairly small room. The rooms are all on the smaller side. It is an older ship. But we knew that going in. You know that going in, you can tell by the sizes. But they were well appointed. They were very well appointed. The shower was longer than the one on MSC, but it was narrower, probably square foot wise.
Apparently, when it was redone, it used to have shower curtains. And so when it was redone, they now have basically
really nice
saloon door type things that will go in or out.
Yeah, it's really nice. They're glass doors that split. So it's really nice the way they did it. So the bathroom was efficient.
There was a lot of storage because there were some shelves off to the side, and you could open up the mirror, and there was basically a medicine cabinet shelves. So there was a fair amount of storage there. Just definitely it was on the small side, but perfectly doable.
Yeah, and we had an ocean view for this particular one. Big ocean view. We were up in the bow. I'd say about 8 cabins back from the very front. So we were up in the bow. Had a beautiful view looking out. There was only one time that we really had a lot of noise, and that was actually St. Bart's, where we did the tender when they were lowering. They actually had this whole platform that they lower down into the water to step off onto. And that was really the only time that we really heard anything from the ship. I was like, wow, what is that alarm? We heard it, wee-doo, wee-doo. I'm like, what the heck is that alarm? But it was the door going down. And then again, when it came back up. But other than that, we were actually quite stunned at how nice, because we were definitely hitting some weather, especially on the way back. In fact, they closed up all the outer deck, the high decks, and then the promenade deck. They wouldn't let us out there because there was so much spray coming up and so much wind. We could hardly feel anything down below. Now, if you went up to deck 10, yeah, you definitely felt some sway. But that's the other difference with the older, smaller ships too, is that you're going to feel more motion. Now, what we really noticed on this particular ship, we found out she does have 14-foot stabilizer, so the left to right was not all that bad. It was the front to back that you really felt, where the front end was really porpoising in, down into the waves and then coming up out of the waves and going down into the waves and coming out of the waves. And that is what I really felt more so than the side to side. Now, the side to side was very minimal on deck 5, which was the primary deck. That's where your casino is. That's where the Sirena lounge is, where Martini's piano bar was. The barista's coffee is there. The main hall, the upper hall, where the string quartet would play, and then the main dining room. They're all on deck 5. That was very smooth for the entire ride. When you got up to deck 9, which was your pool deck, at the Waves Outdoor Grill, and then the Terrace Cafe, plus you have the spa and the gym up in front. There you could start to feel the motion. And certainly up on deck 10, when you went to the very top, that's where Horizons Lounge was up in the front, the library in the back, and the running track. You definitely felt the motion up there. So there was this was the most motion of the ocean that we have felt in a very long time on a ship. It wasn't excessive.
And we're not super sensitive to it. There were a few days where I felt, I wouldn't say seasick, but I definitely didn't feel, I felt like kind of just a little off. Yeah. Just a little bit.
So, if you're really sensitive to motion, we might have to think twice about putting you on a ship this small.
Or at least you'll want to take precautions.
Yeah. Now, Oceania does have the larger ships where the 1,200 to 1,250 people. They are a little bit more stable in the weather as well. So that is one of the things to certainly consider when you're looking at Oceania cruises is, do we want to be on something quite that small? Now, with a small ship like that, obviously you're going to have less venues at night. So at night, basically, we've got the piano bar, Martini's piano bar. In the upper hall, which is the center of the ship, a lovely string quartet was playing every single night. They would do multiple sets at night, and they would alternate with the piano bar because you could hear both of them together. So one would take a break, the other would play. And there is something about just listening to a live stream. It's funny, when we came on the ship, like when we first embarked onto the ship, I'm like, wow, man, that's a really nice recording they're playing. And then the string quartet was right there. I was like, oh, they're live. Oh, no wonder it sounds so good. They were really, really good. And there's just something about it. I was like, oh, yeah, boy, you come onto a luxury ship, you're going to hear a string quartet. It was actually really lovely.
But they did play, they played classical music, but they also did some sets where they did ABBA or they did Broadway songs.
Yeah,
so they also did something.
The ABBA set was great.
Yeah.
Rebecca didn't hear it. She was down in the room, but the ABBA set was great. It was actually a lot of fun. I was like, oh my God, they're playing ABBA. So that was a lot of fun. And so you got martinis, you had them. The Sirena Lounge was a show every night at 9:30. So whatever the show was going to be. So the entertainment on the ship, the entertainment crew was supposed to be 6 people. They were only 5. They're actually down 1 singer. And so we had 2 vocalists, we had 2 singers, and then we
2
had
male vocalists, 2 females.
No, we had 1 male vocalist.
No, 2.
1.
2.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We did have Stevie or whatever the heck his name was. I totally forgot about the other. Right. 2 male vocalists, 1 female vocalist. There's supposed to be 2, and then a female dancer and a male dancer. So we were down 1 person. And so the shows on there are lounge shows. Right? They're not a big theater production show. They are lounge shows. And so it's a lot different. It's about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. And then that 1 show is done. That's it. That's all they're going to do in the theater or in the lounge. Then the band is going to play up in Horizons into the night. I can't remember just how late they went into the night, but then they would do a set up there. They had a dance floor and a lounge. Then after that, it was pretty much you're on your own. You got the casino going. The casino is very, very small, but it was very, very active every single night. And yeah, it was just, you know, at night, you're kind of more on your own. And I think that's one of the reasons why it felt like such a chill vibe, because there wasn't a whole lot to do, but it was certainly lovely sitting outside. If you want to sit out by the pool is absolutely lovely. George, how are you? Happy New Year.
And they did have quite a nice selection of on-demand movies in your cabin that you could watch for no extra charge.
Yeah, Rebecca was loving all the movies on demand.
Yeah.
Hey, Douglas. Oh, thank you for the kind words on Oceania. Yeah, we're trying. You know, we've got a lot of content that I need to try to edit to get on YouTube. You know, it's really weird. While we were on the ship, somebody asked about Wi-Fi, how the Wi-Fi was. For some reason, I could not get YouTube to upload very well from the ship. I could upload to Facebook, to TikTok, to Instagram all day long, but trying to get anything to go up to YouTube was just not very happy. So I'm going to be uploading a lot more on YouTube about Oceania over the next week or so. I mean, I'm only home today and tomorrow. We're back on the Scarlet Lady, so I'm going to try to get as much as I can out there. George, I hope you and Christine are doing absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Can't wait to cruise with you guys again. Got to do it soon. I can't wait till you guys can cruise over the holidays. I got to say, cruising for Christmas and New Year's, that was really cool. That was really a lot of fun. New Year's was much more subdued on there. So they were supposed to do the New Year's Eve party outside, but there was a concern about rain potentially in the forecast, and they didn't want to get everything set up outside and then suddenly have the rain move in and have to move everybody inside. And I think that was the one like mistake, if you will, that I think they made. They held the event in the Horizon Lounge, which is somewhat small, instead of the main Sirena Lounge, which is much bigger, could have held a lot more people. So it got really crowded really fast in the Horizon Lounge. But you know, they had to make a decision. But they said typically it is out by the pool. The pool would have been able to hold everybody out there very comfortably, but it was blowing hard and there was a chance of rain, so they had to move it inside. But it really was pretty cool having both holidays on there. And then, of course, having Jacques Pepin just threw it way over the top. It was absolutely amazing. So let me get back to, so the rooms were smaller, talked about that. Yeah, so all of the rooms are going to be smaller. So if, I heard some people talking about, you know, well, you know, the suites are bigger on Viking. The suites are bigger on Celebrity. Well, yeah, they're bigger ships, first of all. This is a smaller ship, and they don't hide it. You know, that's one of the things like us as a travel advisor try to help you with. They give the sizes of the rooms, so you can see the rooms. So if you've been in a suite on another ship and you liked it, you can go back to that ship and see how big that suite was. It says like 275 square feet. And now go look at the same suite on Oceania, and you're probably going to see, oh, well, that's 175 square feet. Yeah, it's smaller. I mean, it's right there. The numbers are right there. Colonel Dixon, work might take you to Miami. You might do a quick 3-day on a Magnifica with a full day at Ocean Cay. I hope it's good for you. You know, The MSC, I think the seaside was a better experience than the seashore.
And to be fair, we had just come off of.
We did, but still, the service and the food were sub what we had on the seaside. Yeah. So
I thought they were fairly comparable.
I didn't. So it wasn't as good. You can't keep up with us. Will this be our third time on Scarlet Lady? No, it will. This weekend will be our second time on Scarlet Lady. Oh no, it will be our third time. Yeah, actually, it will be. I can't keep up either. Third time on Scarlet, and then in June I'll be on Valiant for the second time. So yeah, so this is going to be our fourth cruise already on Virgin Voyage. But this one we were invited on. In case you didn't know, we are a top 100 sales agent for Virgin Voyages for the year 2023. So they invited all the top 100 to come on to the cruise ship, and we're going to have a little party, and they're going to do some sort of awards show. It should be silly. So yeah, so that
originally I wasn't going to be able to attend, but things changed.
Yeah,
and
so Rebecca's coming.
Last minute. Now I'm coming.
So instead of me having the hammock all to myself, well, I won't have the hammock at all.
You had the option to tell me to stay home.
They did give us all sea terrace, which was very nice too. So if you're coming on the cruise Saturday on the Scarlet Lady, sorry, there's going to be about 100 travel agents running around. Sorry about that. But back to Oceania. That's the topic I really, really want to talk about tonight. So let's talk about the food. Let's really dive into the food, because they say that they have the finest cuisine at sea. It's good marketing. You know, it is good marketing. And for the most part, the food was just so much better than what you would expect. Now, on the buffet is very small, as you can imagine. There's only 650 people on there. There might have been 150 people eating in the buffet at any given time. So it's not like this massive buffet. Thank you, George. I really appreciate it. So first of all, so the buffet is much smaller. So the portions of the things that they put out, much smaller, and so the food can be a little bit better because they're preparing less. Number two, there were many more preparation stations than you're used to seeing in buffets because, again, there's not so many people. So fresh made Caesar salad every single day. Like I said, every night at dinner, you could get lobster, steak, shrimp, lamb chop, fish of a day, cooked to order every single night. Oh, hamburgers, hot dog, fish during lunch. And then, of course,
they had sushi at dinner every night.
Sushi at dinner every night.
They had both soup. Lunch and dinner had lovely cheese.
Oh my God, I had a big cheese board out there every single day. So you could have a lovely cheese course. So the buffet was just like, forget everything that you've ever thought about a buffet and what a buffet can taste like. This was just beyond that. It was so amazing. And it was just so little, like smaller portions, which is absolutely amazing. And then the ice cream. So all the ice cream was made fresh on the ship, and every single day they had I can't remember the brand name of it now, but they had a different flavor every single day that they'd only have one day. That was the other big thing. The menus changed out every day. There was only really one menu that duplicated, and that was the Caribbean menu when we were in Grenada.
I forget which 2 nights.
It might have been in Grenada. But the chefs went off the ship to the local fish market and brought back a whole bunch of fish. And then that was the main thing that they were making in the buffet. They were making tuna, mahi, and one other fish to order. Again, making it to order. How would you like the tuna? I wanted mine rare. And that's exactly how she made it. So all that fish was made to order. And then the next night, they did repeat that because a lot of people were down in the main dining room. And they wanted to try it, so they did repeat that. But that was literally the only menu that repeated the entire week. In the main dining room, the menu was different every night.
They called it the Chef's Marketplace dinner.
It was a Caribbean Chef Marketplace dinner.
But they do that apparently at least once on every cruise. And it's always, based on where you're traveling at. So in our case, it was the Caribbean, but if you're in Alaska, it'll be Alaska. If you're in Greece, it'll be Greek food. Yeah. So
they always try to do a local, and sometimes they actually have an excursion where you get to go with the chef. And I tell you what, I would have been all over that. I would have loved to have gone with the chef. Hey, Kath, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. I would have loved to have joined in. So sometimes on some of these excursions, You can go with the chef and go see where they're going to go shopping and all that good stuff. I would have absolutely loved to have done that. So the buffet, absolutely freaking amazing. Then you go down to the main dining room. So the main dining room it reminded me of Princess, in the service and how they laid everything out. Too many glasses on the table, but that's how they set it up. They'd have like 2 or 3 wine glasses out and then your regular glass. And, they did that whole proper English thing. And again, with your dinners in the buffet, or with your lunches and dinners in the buffet, or in the main dining room, or any of the restaurants, your house wine, house champagne, a selection of beer, all included with the meal. So you could order anything you wanted off the menu. You could order anything you wanted in a buffet. There's not a single dime to be paid for food. Like on Virgin Voyages, there's actually a couple of things that are called treat yourself that you do have to pay extra for. But here, absolutely nothing do you pay extra for. You can literally get lobster and shrimp every single night if you want to. It's amazing. But in the menu changed every single day. At lunch, same every day. At lunch, things would repeat, but at dinner, the only things that repeated were the daily, the things that are on the everyday menu.
And lunch was only really sea days and days we arrived later into port. So it was lunch was not in the main dining room every day.
No, but the menus, so the menus were different. So, you keep hearing, like I hear about Norwegian Cruise Line, they're literally serving the same menu in the main dining room every night. They're serving the same menu in the yacht club, or not the yacht club, the Haven, all the time. And it's like, I don't understand why they're doing that. But, here's this cruise line saying, nope, we're not going to serve the same thing at all. And so in the buffet, all the main hot things would change every single night. Obviously, the breakfast, basically going to be the same every day. I mean, what are you going to do, right? It's going to basically be the same breakfast every single day. So the main dining room, I would say that the quality of that food is what you typically pay extra for on other cruise lines, by far. The weakest thing I had in there was actually, and I felt bad, it was Jacques' steak. It's one of his signature steaks. They didn't cook it as well. They cooked the food actually better upstairs with the steaks. But, everything else down there, like Rebecca said, she had a lobster pad thai. I don't even remember. I'm going to have to go back and watch the videos.
You had the lobster pad thai too that day.
I know I had it that day, but I had so many amazing things in the main dining room. It was absolutely ridiculous. And then...
although I will say the desserts for me were hit or miss.
Well, they always are. Every cruise, they're hit or miss.
And honestly, half the time we were so full by dessert, I didn't really even... care.
Tuscan steak, we didn't even bother. But yeah, so the main dining room, the grand dining room, as they call it, your food was as good or better as what you would have to pay extra for on any other cruise line. Then you get up to the Waves Grill, which is your poolside grill. What a fun little joint. What I loved about this one, you don't queue up and stand there and wait for your burger and all of this. You literally place your order. Hamburger, hot dog, surf and turf. I think they had chicken breasts. They had vegetarian sandwiches and things like that. I think somebody asked about vegan. They did have, they did mark things on the menu. Sorry. Liana, I missed your question before.
But they did have things on the menu marked. There was one marking for vegetarian and another marking for vegan.
And they were very good about that.
And certainly if you were vegan, I'm sure that there are things they could alter.
Yeah.
And make them, leave a few things out. Like I know they had some vegan cheeses on, because I saw there were several nights where it was marked vegan, but there was quote unquote cheese on it.
Right. So, so they were very good about vegan. And of course, the chefs would come out if you needed them to and talk you through pretty much anything you needed to have talked through with that. And so the Waves Grill was great. And then they had milkshakes, they had smoothies. I've already mentioned the lobster. It was just ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. You just literally order lobster for lunch and dinner if you wanted to, and it's just included. And it was cooked fresh to order. That's the other thing. This stuff wasn't just sitting out. When you ordered a hamburger, you ordered a hamburger. Like they made it. Nothing sat in a tray. No steak sat in a tray. No lobster sat in a tray. Shrimp only sat there if it was part of something that was already made. Like everything that you ordered, it was made. And it was absolutely unbelievable. And it was just because you didn't have that crush of people. Now, even on the bigger ships, which are 1,200 people, they still do all of those same things because, again, this is what they're programmed for. Oh, by the way, the buffet is not self-serve. The buffet is served. They serve you, so you don't have 650 hands grabbing at the tongs and handing them off. So consequently, as far as I know, not many people got sick, if anybody got sick at all. So a lot of sanitizer stations around. That was something I noticed too. There were a lot of sanitizer stations around everything. So I hit all of that. Now, red ginger and Tuscan steak. Wow. So Tuscan steak is a very unique restaurant in all of Oceania because it's the only one of its kind in the entire fleet, and it's on the Oceania Sirena. Now, on the rest of the ship, you've got Toscana, which is the Italian restaurant, and then you've got Polo Grill, which is the steakhouse. They used to both be on the Sirena, and they decided that they wanted to put Red Ginger, which is the Asian fusion restaurant, on there. So what they did, they created Tuscan steak. Has some of the Toscano menu, it has some of the Polo Grill menu on it, and then so you basically have an Italian steakhouse on one side, and then you've got Red Ginger, which is the Asian fusion, on the other side. Those are considered specialty restaurants, but again, no charge to get in.
You have to make a reservation, but other than that,
you have to make a reservation. That's it, but no charge whatsoever. And you can make the reservation in advance. You can only make one reservation in each restaurant in advance. Once you're on the ship, you can go up and see if you can get some more reservations as well. So Tuscan steak was just amazing. I was disappointed because where they sat us, I couldn't film because it was so dark right there. But it was ridiculous. I got this trio of pasta. I'm trying to remember. So, a lobster risotto, a gnocchi pesto, and then a bolognese, which was made with veal. Holy crap. That was the lobster risotto was like, there was lobster meat in every bite. It was the most ridiculous tasting risotto.
And you can order each of those three things on their own as an entree rather than the little
But trio. I did the trio
because
I wanted to try them all. And then that bolognese with the veal was like, I can't even describe it. It was just so phenomenal. And then the gnocchi pesto was just like the cherry on top. I'm glad that was actually the smallest portion of all three because it was so heavy by the time we got there.
And we had the most amazing Caesar salad like ever.
Yeah. We noticed at their Caesar salad station that they roll in. Now they make the Caesar salad to order in the buffet, but it's not the same as what they did up there in the Tuscan steak. It was just so flipping good.
The dressing definitely in Tuscan steak had more garlic too.
Oh, it had a ton of garlic in it. They were very Italian. And so that was just over the top amazing. And then we went over to Red Ginger. Rebecca was really excited about Red Ginger with the Asian fusion. Again, I got that duck and watermelon salad that was unfreaking believable. And then I got the miso glaze sea bass. That was amazing. Now, Rebecca, what did you end up getting? You got curry.
I got the prawn curry. I should have sent it back and gotten something different. It wasn't bad per se. It just
wasn't great.
It wasn't at all what I was expecting from a red curry.
Yeah.
So. It was very sweet. It was not savory. It was not spicy at all. Like zero spice. Like if I mean, I don't know who, maybe somebody would think it was spicy, but to me it was like not. So
Red Ginger was kind of a mixed bag.
But I will say your fish was amazing.
Yeah,
the miso soup was amazing. You had a tuna thing as an appetizer that was amazing.
So I ordered well. She didn't.
No, I got some. I loved my miso soup.
Yeah, no, the miso soup was great.
And the shrimp thing I got was very good.
Yeah, just
and the desserts were really good.
Yeah, the desserts were really good too. So, which you will see soon enough as soon as I can edit the video. I started editing the video, but I got to get them out there.
But it was my fault. I think I was a little tired, so I didn't bother asking for a replacement entree, but I should have, and that's on me.
You should have. But So yeah, so it was kind of a mixed bag. I had the good meal. She had most of the good meal.
They had a lovely tea menu as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they
It
did
was
have a whole
just
tea
a
menu.
whole tea.
Fun.
It was really nice.
Which leads into the afternoon tea, which it was good. It wasn't as good as we hoped it was going to be based on like all the description. But again, they had a lovely tea menu, and they had some really good desserts, but the sandwiches were just too thick. Like the bread was super thick.
Yeah, it was like usually
but it was
in
lovely.
those kind of tea sandwiches, it's the thin slices, but it
Yeah,
was
and they
like a
had
normal slice
Yeah,
of
they
bread.
had really
It
thick
wasn't
slices.
bad.
Yeah,
None
it
of
was
it
lovely.
was bad.
The tea was good.
And it was funny. The first time we went in there, I asked for the scones with the clotted cream, and they brought me the whipped cream, and I thought, oh, I guess that's what they have. But it turns out they just misunderstood what I wanted or misheard me.
Yeah.
Because they did have clotted cream. So when we went back the next time, we made sure to get the clotted cream. And
that was good.
That's what you should have with scones.
That was very good. So afternoon tea was fun. It wasn't quite as over the top as we thought it was going to be.
And the string quartet was playing during afternoon tea.
String quartet was playing.
And they did that every day at 4:00.
Yeah, even whether it's a sea day or a port day, they always did the afternoon tea, which was lovely. And the string quartet was there every day.
In fact, one day we were getting back from our excursion right around tea time. So we hadn't had lunch. So we just went and had couple little sandwiches and
So we went up and did the afternoon tea. And talking about the string quartet, it actually reminds me that was one of the best shows that we saw the entire week. They did basically an unplugged show. They did an acoustic show that's inspired by those old MTV unplugged shows, where they brought together the show band. So the show band was a 5-piece band, and then they brought the string quartet together. So now you've got basically a 9-piece, almost like a small orchestra, and they did a whole show with the full band, and it was amazing the difference in the sound when they brought them all together, and then they did the whole thing unplugged. This was just simply amazing. Yes, this was the cruise that we were just on. We were on the Oceania Sirena, which is a small ship luxury cruise. For those of you just tuning in, we're talking about Oceania cruises tonight, small ship luxury cruising. We were on the Oceania Sirena, which is only 650 guests. And so, so with this show, we had the 9-piece orchestra, if you will, and then the singers singing.
And they weren't up on the stage. They were kind of down in the dance floor.
Yeah. And so
in the middle of the...
What a great show. And it sounded so different. So it was absolutely freaking amazing. And yeah, for those of you watching on TikTok, I have quite a few of my Oceania videos already up. I need to get some more of them up there. And I have interviews coming. For those of you on YouTube, I've barely gotten any up because for whatever reason, YouTube wasn't happy with the Wi-Fi on the ship.
They also did have some guest performers who came on board.
Yeah. We had piano, we had a guitarist, we had a magician.
And a singer.
But yeah, all in all, I mean, the entertainment was entertaining. It really was. Carson, as a cruise director, was fabulous. I mean, if we're lucky, we'll have Carson on the Riviera in 2025 when we go up to Alaska. And by the way, I'll just flip that up on the YouTube. We do have a group cruise. We have a wonderful Oceania group cruise coming in June of 2025. We're going to be up in Alaska. Everything that I've been talking about, I've been talking about tonight, it's all going to apply to that cruise. That will be the larger ship. It's going to be the Riviera. Actually, Rebecca's mom was on this ship over in the Mediterranean and loved it. Douglas Cole says the gauge of a good cruise food for me is how good was the French onion. I never had French. I didn't even see French onion on the menu. It was
probably there when
probably there, but I never saw it. So maybe if it was
actually there, they might have had it in Tuscan steak.
They might have. I don't remember seeing it. It's not.
I'm sure it was on the menu at some point during the 12 days.
Considering Jacques did the menu, I'm sure Jacques makes a good French onion soup. My buddy Jacques, Jacques.
I don't personally eat it because it's always made with beef broth. But
yeah. I don't know, Douglas. I can just tell you that the food was ridiculous on the entire cruise. Best omelets that I've had on a cruise, best soup that I've had on a cruise,
Hash
best
browns
lobster.
at breakfast.
Yeah, even the hash browns. They had to act like fresh hash browns that they made that had onions in them. Oh my God. It was so
And
good.
this is such a small thing. And maybe it's because I've lived in the South so long that I really noticed the difference. The iced tea was fresh brewed. It was not the syrup mix that every other cruise line I've ever been on has. That's really only drinkable if you mix it with lemonade. This was fresh brewed iced tea.
And, you know, I'm sure a bunch of you are saying, wow, he looks like he's tired. Yeah, it's been long. I'm so sorry. I'm talking so quietly. Normally, I'm like so excited about the cruising, and I should be so excited about it, but I'm tired tonight, too. It's been long. Hey, by the way, I haven't shown you the gifts that I got. So I got myself some amazing coffee liqueur. This was from, not Granada. Granada. Grenada. So there's a Granada and a Grenada. We went to Grenada. So this
Grenada
is coffee liqueur.
The city in Spain. Grenada is the island in the Caribbean.
So this I bought to put on vanilla ice cream. So yes, fresh brewed tea is a big deal. The fact that they actually, and you could tell.
No, they don't. It's all unsweetened, so you have to add your own sweetness.
Yeah, which is great. That's the way it should be. It should all be unsweetened and add your own.
Yeah, but some Southerners like sweet tea.
Whatever.
But
just add some coffee liqueur to your tea. It'd be great. So this is the coffee liqueur I got, and I pour it over vanilla ice cream. So that's what I've been doing here. And then I got, so we were at a rum distillery, Clark's.
No.
37 blend rum. This is a 12-year rum that I got while we were down there too. Now here's the interesting thing about Oceania Sirena. I did not have to surrender these when I walked onto the ship. They let me keep these and bring them to my room. So I could have brought these bottles out and brought them up to the buffet and started putting coffee liqueur on my ice cream up there. They do not. In fact, I asked when I came back on with security, I said, hey, you want me to take the liquor out? They're like, no, just take them. So no. And apparently you can bring 4 bottles of wine or 5 bottles of wine on Oceania, something like that. So it's not the standard 2 bottles. But if you buy liquor in the ports, you can apparently bring it back onto the ship at Oceania. So yet another advantage to sailing. Oceania, I have not cracked this open yet. This is only for special friends. This is a 12-year rum. Clark's Court is what it's called. That's what we got. We had a lovely tour of the rum distillery, and then I had some fun tasting stuff. Jada, you saw that. I'm so glad. But yeah, so basically, you know, is Oceania Cruises right for you? Well, if you are starting to get tired of, you know, what the other cruise lines are cutting back on, the fact that the rates are going up, you will be shocked at how comparable the pricing is for, say, an Oceania cruise versus, say, a Celebrity, a Princess, a Virgin Voyage.
Particularly when you're sailing in the higher end cabins.
When you're sailing in the higher end cabins. But also know that Oceania does longer itineraries. So the cruises do tend to be more expensive. Like we were on a 12-night itinerary. Celebrity, Princess, certainly Virgin, they don't do all that many 12-nighters. I mean, they do some. They do more over in Europe than they do over here. So know that the itineraries do tend to be longer. And, you know, you do get what you pay for, I think. And in this case, we paid for really, really good service. If there was one weak place, and this was hard for me to believe, but the baristas actually weren't all that great. And there was one guy, he was fabulous, but the rest of them who stepped in, you know, like on Virgin Voyages, when I go back on the Scarlet Lady, they have dedicated baristas. That's all they do. They're really, I think they're some of the best baristas at sea, to be honest with you, on Virgin Voyages. They are on it. Whereas on Oceania, there was one guy who was really good in baristas. The rest of them, like after I had my first cappuccino from them, I'm like, yeah, I'll just get a macchiato or an espresso. But they had the machine up in Horizon. So if I saw those baristas, I would just go up to Horizon to get myself a cappuccino up there. My God, having unlimited, you know, specialty coffee, you're talking my language. Unlimited lobster, unlimited shrimp, unlimited specialty coffee. You're talking my language. So, you know, it is a different way of cruising because there's not near as much to do. You're going to be more laid back. You're going to be, you know, left to your own devices more on a smaller ship like that.
And there were exactly 2 shops.
Yeah, there were exactly 2 shops and way overpriced at that as well. The hat was $32 just to get a baseball cap. I was going to buy a nice baseball cap, and it's $32. I was like, yeah, nope, that looks good right where it is. But you know, you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. That means that it's more relaxing, it's more low key. Now on the bigger ship, there are a few more venues, there are a few more things to do going into the evening. The casino will be a little bit larger.
And the bigger ships have 4 specialty restaurants instead of 2.
4 specialty restaurants instead of 2. And so, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why the cruise was so relaxing. I mean, there was a whole schedule of things to do. Just give me one of those. By the way, this is the app. I kid you not. This is the app for Oceania. Oceania does not have an app yet. So if you want the app, you need to take a picture of the schedule. Put that on your phone. This is your app. They literally do not have an app yet. I don't know why. They're part of Norwegian. They should have an app.
They're threatening. They keep apparently threatening to develop one, but
you know, so it's not like it's jam packed. But here's your schedule. You know, right here. So it's not like a jam packed schedule, but there's things to do. You know, you've got your trivia, you got blackjack tournament, slot tournament. Of course, you got your shuffleboard. You got a Texas Hold'em, golf putting, craft gin tasting. I missed that. Son of a. Anyway, dance classes, afternoon tea. They had raffles, happy hour. Oh yeah, they had happy hour every day with 2-for-1 cocktails, and things like that. So you know, you still had those things to do. Cindy, so the only real pay item are the cocktails. So 2 real pay items. 1, gratuities, because those are not included in the Simply More. Of course, you can prepay those before you get on the ship. And yes, 2, any drinks, any alcoholic drinks outside of the restaurants or outside of what's considered the house wines and the house champagnes. So yes, those would be a pay item. Now, there is a drinks package that you can upgrade to called Prestige Select. And if you get the Prestige Select, then you've got all your drinks during the meals, and you can order cocktails and wine and beer at the bars as well.
That's somewhere between $30 and $40 a day
something
to
like
upgrade, and both people are not required to do the upgrade.
Yeah.
So if only one of you wants to drink,
how about that?
Cocktails, only one of you needs to upgrade.
Wow, they treat you like an adult. So one person can go ahead and get the upgrade. The other person does not have to get it. Now, keep in mind that if you come to Alaska with us, that drink upgrade is in the package, as are the gratuities. So you're saving about $1,200 over the cost of the cruise with the value. So the gratuities are around $750 for our cruise in Alaska. Those are covered in the cruise fare, and the drink package upgrade is included. So literally, the only thing that you'll be paying for are the extra excursions. You're going to get an $800 or $600 excursion credit for that particular cruise. So on our Alaska cruise, literally the only thing that you have to pay for when you come on the ship will be, or before you get on the ship, are going to be those shore excursions. That's really it. We've got you completely covered on that cruise.
The shore excursions over and above the included dollar amount. And it's nice with this. Before, there was all these, when they had the O-Life excursions, there was all these restrictions. Now you can literally blow your whole thing on one giant excursion or spread it out amongst a bunch of excursions.
Sue, when is Alaska and which cruise line? So it's Oceania Cruises. It's going to be on the Oceania Riviera. She holds a maximum of 1,250 people. And the cruise is June 26th through July 8th, 2025. It's a round trip out of Seattle. And we will be doing 12 nights and 8 ports. It's going to be crazy. It's an absolutely beautiful itinerary. In fact, I can bring that up. Actually, I can bring it up over here while we're chatting. Let me get all this out of the way. And as I said, it's the Simply More package, which is basically all included, except for the gratuities and the cocktails. But with our cruise, the gratuities and the cocktails are included with the cruise. So it's about a $1,250 value. Let me bring this up so I can tell you exactly what it is. And I apologize that I am talking kind of quiet and slower than I typically do. It's been a long couple of days. So here's the itinerary, Sue. We leave Seattle. We have a sea day. We'll go to Ketchikan, Wrangell, Juneau, Skagway, Icy Strait Point, the home of the longest, fastest, and tallest zip line that I will be doing. We'll go to the Hubbard Glacier, Sitka, Klawak, Alaska. We'll have a sea day. We're going to go to Victoria, not just for 3 hours like most cruise lines do. We're going to be there for 12 hours, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. So you actually have time to go visit Victoria. And then we go back to Seattle. And let me say that most of the port stops are between 10 to 14 hours. So you've got time, like if you want to do 2 excursions in some of these locations, you can absolutely go do 2 excursions in some of these places. Skagway, we're there from 7 a.m. till 11 p.m. 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. in Skagway. 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. in Juneau. 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. in Ketchikan. Now, these are not just quick stops. Icy Strait Point, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Victoria, again, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. I mean, these are long stops. I think our shortest stop is 8 hours. No, 9 hours. Our shortest stop is 9 hours. So you've got plenty of time in Alaska to go enjoy stuff. And your cruise is basically all included if you book through our group. It's absolutely insane. It is absolutely insane. So, yeah, we're so excited. We're so excited. I believe we've got 10 people currently booked right now.
Well, cabins. I think it's actually
10 cabins. Yeah. So
cabins.
we've got between 80 and 20. Sorry, I was just looking at something over here. It's Bermuda nice in April. Yeah, it can be. Sure. Why not? It might be a little cool still, but it should be nice. But it might still be a little bit on the cool side. But sure, it'll be nice cruising out of New York. I think you'll have a good time. But yeah. So that is that. So Oceania, if you're tired of being nickel and dime on the other cruise line, if you're looking to get a little bit more value out of your cruise, like you just don't know, there's the cruise price. Then there's the actual price when you're done with the cruise. There are 2 different things. I think Princess does the best job in terms of the mainstream cruise line with a package that you can buy that really evens that out. Of course, Virgin Voyages, nearly all inclusive. They do include the gratuity. So, those 2 cruise lines, when you buy in, you kind of know what you're going to be paying on for the full cruise. Again, with the Oceania, you know what you're going to be paying for the full cruise. And if you really want to step up into the food game, yes, there's going to be misses on there. Yes, there were some things on there. It was like, yeah, it's okay. Not bad. But for the most part, it was absolutely amazing. And one of the best things was, obviously it was Christmas. So they had Christmas cookies out all week. And it was so disappointing that on January 2nd, that disappeared. They had a whole gingerbread village.
It was January 1st when we woke up.
Suddenly it was gone, and the Christmas cookies were gone too. So we really got spoiled by those Christmas cookies. It was really funny. So I really encourage you all to consider taking like a Christmas New Year's cruise. It's so much. We were supposed to have done this back in 2020. It was going to be the Jewel of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's Jewel of the Seas out of Galveston. And unfortunately, the pandemic hit. We couldn't do it. So it took us a little bit longer, but I'm really glad. These R-class ships, so these were built by Renaissance Cruises. They built 8 of these ships. Oceania has 4 and Azamara has the other 4. These are classic ships, all built in the late 90s, early 2000s. Renaissance went under. The Oceania got 4, Azamara got 4. They're not long for this world. One of the things that we learned while we were on there is that like the engines are so old that they basically have to custom any part that they need now. They pretty much have to custom make them. So who knows how much longer they're going to be sailing. I know Oceania doesn't have any plans to retire them anytime soon, but at some point these ships are going to move on. And I strongly encourage you, if you can, go take a cruise on one of these ships. They're really, really, this is probably as close as you're going to get to sailing on the original Love Boat. I mean, these ships are about that size, the original Love Boat.
Another nice little thing, all the loungers by the pool had nice thick padding on them and a fitted towel cover that got put on every morning. And you could, no signing out of towels, just get towels whenever you wanted. They would walk around the pool deck with ice water every so often.
So nice.
It was just
So nice to be treated like
the
an
little
adult.
things like that.
Yeah, there were a lot. There's too many little things to mention, but just staying on top of it, like at the buffet, staying on top of it at any of the venues, even at the Waves Grill, which was just your pool grill, just staying on the, coming around. Oh, you need more tea, you need more water, you need more of this. Like she just said, the guy would come around the pool with just a whole tray full of glasses of water, just handing out glasses of water. No need to sign out any towels. The padded loungers were phenomenal. Plus, they had these really comfortable outdoor couches and chairs on either end. For those of you who smoke, there is a smoking room up in Horizon. Now, no cigars or pipes were allowed inside the smoking room, but they did have at least one smoking area outside where the cigars and the pipes could be smoked. So they are smoker friendly. I'm going to find out if cigars are allowed in the bigger ships, in the smoking room. I don't know, because it was such a small smoking room. That's probably why they didn't allow them in there. But there's just a lot of little things, and I think
and you had water bottles in your cabin.
Oh yeah, where are they?
They're actually on that table.
Oh yeah.
They
gave us water bottles.
They give you some stainless steel water bottles, and then you have a big heavy glass carafe in your room that you can just refill.
Yeah, and our mini bar was kept fully stocked with sodas. And then around the ship, they had, like the osmosis water station. So you just put your water bottle under there and just hit it all throughout the ship. So very much up on, hydration and water and things like that. And just getting those water bottles, that was just a nice little touch. We got chocolate every night.
Yes.
You guys remember getting chocolate on the bed? Everything like, oh my God, look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh my God, we had chocolates. They gave us chocolates on the pillows every single night. When was the last time you got chocolate on the pillow? And it's 20th anniversary chocolate that's been waiting 20 years to be given to us. So yeah, how about that? But yeah, we had chocolate every single night on the bed. It was just a little thing. It's like, oh wow, I can't remember the last time we
slept on his one night.
Chocolate on the bed. So I'm going to eat it in honor of this whole cruise.
And it's a pretty good dark chocolate too.
Pretty good dark chocolate too. Yes, it is. So yes, look at that. Nice little piece of chocolate from a ship. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. I should have had that earlier. That woke me up. But yeah, we had chocolate on the bed. When was the last? There's so many little things that they did. The captain was so young. No towel animals on the ship.
Oh.
Christy's like, towel animals are the best. That's pretty much a carnival thing.
Well, so Royal does it.
They do some.
I mean, it happens, but to me, yeah, they're cute, but I don't need them.
Yeah,
and I feel bad that the room stewards have to spend all that time and effort doing them. It's just,
but the kids love them.
Yeah, I get it. But
when is the best time to buy a drink package on Royal Caribbean? So here's the cool thing about that. Black Friday usually is that whole Black Friday sale. But here's the thing about those drink packages on Royal Caribbean. And now, if you guys just want to ask us questions about anything, we've kind of run past our time, and we've said a lot about Oceania. I will say, if you want to know more about Oceania, reach out to us. Please do. What an amazing cruise line. Where's WalterTravel.com. If you're watching us on TikTok, click my little logo. There's a contact us link there. And if you're watching on YouTube, there are links down in the description to just reach out. But yeah, anything goes. Any you guys on YouTube want to ask questions? The best time to buy a drink package with Royal Caribbean, most of that stuff will be that Black Friday time frame. However, you can buy it today at whatever price is that. If you see a better price next week, simply cancel the package and then rebook it. It's as simple as that. So really, the best time to book it, just go ahead and book it and then keep an eye on it.
Well, my big advice is, two pieces of advice. As soon as you book your Royal Caribbean cruise, go into your cruise planner and write down the prices of everything you're interested in and just keep track of them. My other advice specifically for the drink package is Google Royal Caribbean bar menus and see if you're actually try and guess if you're actually going to spend enough money to, I mean, you have to drink quite a bit depending on the price because it does vary a lot. But I would say minimum of 5 or 6 alcoholic drinks, and it can be upwards of 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drink that in a day.
So you just need to see whether it's even worth it. I would say for about 50% of the people who get a drinks package on Royal Caribbean, because it is so expensive, probably overspend. They're just giving Royal Caribbean money. And I've heard the excuse of, well, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. You don't have to think about it because the drinks are going to be charged against your key. So all you have to do is just, so I think for many people, and like Rebecca said, you know, just look up the drink menu. So most drinks on Royal Caribbean are probably going to be averaging between $9 and $15, depending on what you're getting. Beer is going to be, say, $6 to $9 probably, and then up from there. So it depends on what you're drinking and what level of the shelf that you're going to be drinking from. So you really got to do the math, because just saying, well, I don't want to think about it, you might just be giving away money to Royal Caribbean. What we do,
hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, like literally hundreds of dollars. So for example,
$60, hundreds.
On Carnival, the drink package would have been around $750, $800 for the two of us when we went on the Carnival Mardi Gras. We decided not to do it. When we got home, and I didn't even try. I got myself drinks, I got myself coffees. I didn't even pay any attention to how much I was spending. I didn't want to think about it, right? And I didn't think about it. When we got home, we spent under $300 total by just going a la carte. So we would have just given Carnival $400 for not wanting to think about it. So make sure the drink package is actually going to work for you before you buy it, because why just give away money that you're not going to spend? And so for us, when we go on Royal Caribbean, we like the refreshment package. That gives you soft drinks, it gives you mocktails, and most importantly for me, it gives me my specialty coffees. That's enough. And then I just simply pay for the drinks. I'm going to get, you know, it's like $20 a day, $25 a day. Well, I can drink that much in coffee. No problem.
But even the refreshment package, I kept track of the price and waited till it got down to where I was comfortable with.
So oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, there will be many more videos coming on the Oceania cruise over on the YouTube side. I apologize, I was not able to get many up there while we were on the ship, but I am going to be working on, even while we're on Scarlet Lady, I'm going to try and be pushing them up there. So thank you. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, so just keep in mind that the drink packages, all of the drink package on Royal Caribbean are not limited in any way. So you can buy it today, keep an eye on it. If it goes down, cancel it, rebook it. Now, some packages, like there could be some dining packages out there, certainly shore excursion and other things are limited. Certainly anything on Coco Cay, generally limited. So be careful if you're like, okay, I'm going to cancel, I'm going to rebook at the new price. If there's somebody else waiting at that same moment, they could get in there before you get back in there. So, but the drink packages, you can cancel and rebook all day long.
Same with the internet package too.
Same with the internet package, yeah. So, yeah. And of course, you can always look at the key as well to get the internet package with the key and all those little extra things that you get. You're welcome, Moho. I hope that was helpful. Certainly, if we can help you at all in any way, just reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. Just for everybody watching, a simple reminder again, our services are 100% free. You do not pay for our services at all when you work with us. We get paid a commission by the travel partners, and we're very proud of that. I mean, there are some travel partners who are starting to charge fees. We're not at that point right now. We're thankful that y'all have followed along, and we're very busy. We're very, very busy. We're very thankful. We hit our 2023 goals in August of last year, so it was absolutely amazing. Hey, Happy New Year, Aaron. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, we're actually running longer than we typically do on Thursday night. Conway, how much is the internet? For what? I'm so sorry. What are you asking for the internet? Varies on the cruise line. Yeah, I mean,
and it also will vary. Some cruise lines have a couple levels of internet.
Yeah, so like with Virgin Voyages, the internet is included. With Oceania, who we've been talking about all night, the internet is included. So it depends on the cruise line. Every cruise line has their own prices. Norwegian, you can have 150 minutes included with the free at sea. So the internet all depends on which cruise line. If you get Princess Plus on Princess, Wi-Fi is included. So I like to try to get those packages. Hey, Gary, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you joining in. If any of y'all have any questions at all about cruising, feel free to start dropping them in. I'll be glad to sit here for a little longer and answer them. Typically, we don't go this long on a Thursday night, but you know what? It's been so long since we've done this. We are going to try to pop up on Sunday from the Scarlet Lady, so fingers crossed. We'll be in Key West on Sunday, right? Yeah, we'll be in Key West on Sunday. So hopefully the Wi-Fi will work well from Key West, and we'll go live from Scarlet Lady at our typical 10:30 in the morning time. That'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, wow, Oceania really blew me away. I wasn't really, I mean, I knew I was going to like it. I was hoping I was going to like it, but they really did blow me away.
And I have to say, our fellow passengers were, for the most part, just the nicest people. We had so many nice conversations. You could have shared tables in the dining room or in the specialty restaurants if you so chose.
That was fun.
And so we met some very nice people, had some lovely conversations.
I really miss those shared tables. I mean, that used to be my favorite part about going to dinner in the main dining room, is that, you know, you sit down at a table. You know, back in the day when we first started, you know, you all sat at the table together every single night. And when we were on Oceania, I think we sat with 3 different sets of folks. One night we had Jacques Pepin and his whole family sitting right over there next to us, which is just still bizarre. I cannot believe that I just spent 12 days with Jacques Pepin on a ship. So that was super, super cool, getting to hang out with them. But yeah, we just met so many lovely people, and there's an amazing backstory to the amazing woman who I met in Puerto Plata. That video is coming up on YouTube tomorrow morning. About mudding. You talk about mudding. This was an Oceania excursion. I mean, Oceania is not just for old fuddy-duddies. We did some serious mudding in Puerto Plata. I didn't realize how deep we got in the water until I watched the footage back. But I was with Megan. We were the wettest, muddiest by far of anybody on that excursion in Puerto Plata. And I'm going back there. No, when do we go back there? I can't remember. But when I go back there, I'll tell you what, I think I would do that again. That was so much friggin' fun.
And I did not join him, and I am
Rebecca would have hated it.
Amazingly grateful.
Rebecca would have hated it, but Megan, it just so happened that I was a solo, Megan was a solo, and they're like 2 people in a buggy, so you 2 are together, and she wanted to get about as muddy as I did. It was great. It was so great because I drove first, and I'm trying to be a little careful, you know, try not to throw too much mud and water up. And then she was driving, and, you know, they weren't puddles. They were like, you know, 20 yards long, 10 yards,
ponds,
5 yards. Yeah, they were like mini ponds that we were. And so we were coming up on the first one, and she just looked at me and she goes, "Do you mind?" And I said, "You're driving. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen." And she just floored it, and we hit that puddle so hard. Just this wave of water comes up, and that was it. After that, we were just laughing the entire time and having a blast. So yeah, it's called Monster Buggies in Puerto Plata. If you're going to Puerto Plata anytime soon, Monster Buggies. Oh my God, so much fun. You will get muddy. I think next time I want to go with a white t-shirt and white shorts and just do it. Maybe a white hat, like the whole thing, just be completely white.
And while I'm not generally a fan of Crocs, I think they would be the perfect shoe because you could just rinse them off.
I felt so bad for whoever opened my laundry bag on the ship, because when I came back to the ship, you should have seen, oh, this was great too. When we were there, the Scarlet Lady was right next to us. So we got the Scarlet Lady and we've got the Sirena. I kind of felt like I was cheating on her. You know, there's the Scarlet Lady right there. And I come back and literally this whole side of me is just mud. This whole side of me is just mud. And I could see all the pretty people on Virgin Voyages just kind of looking at me like, what in the holy heck did he do? And I'm like, yeah, y'all are so boring. You got to come over to Oceania and see where we have some fun. But I was literally just covered in mud. It was so much fun. Those of you on TikTok, the video has been up there for a while and it's coming over to YouTube very shortly. But what fun. What absolute fun. And I could not have been paired up with a more nice person if I wanted to be. We got to meet Megan's parents on the ship. We kind of got to know each other throughout the course of the week. I think that's the most people we've actually met on a cruise ship in a very long time. You know, one, because it was so small, but two, it was just so relaxed. And everybody was just so nice. There's no stress on that ship because there's just no like, oh, well, we got to get here. Oh, we got to get to the theater super early. Oh, we got to get over there. Oh, we got to do this.
And obviously, some of these people definitely have a lot of disposable income, but nobody was like, there might have been a couple people who had a little bit of an attitude, but I'd say 98% of the people were just lovely.
Just the loveliest people, loveliest people. Aaron says it's a no for him. Oh, Aaron, I'm so disappointed. It's a no for you on the mudding. I'm telling you, Aaron, when you see the video, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. I totally want to. No, it's not for everybody. In fact, it was really funny because there was a couple in front of us and Megan's parents were behind us. They were all trying desperately not to get muddy, which was impossible. Even if you went slow, you were still going to throw stuff up on you. But oh my God, it was just so ridiculous. Yeah, a kickback week. I think there was almost 2 weeks, actually. Kickback 2 weeks. The captain was lovely. The ship's officers were lovely. There's a rule about hiring tall people, apparently, on that ship. There are very tall people on that ship.
Well,
Man.
there were several shorter people in the food and beverage, but
some of the guys, there's one server in the main dining room. He was hilarious. He's such a nice guy, super young guy. I mean, he just towered over you when he came to the table. He was just so nice. But everybody was just so lovely. Yeah, you really get to know the crew. I mean, you really do, because there's only 400, 650 of you. There's 400 of them. They get to know you. They get to know all about you. We were listening to one couple talking. I don't even know how many days at sea they've been at, but this one server, they basically followed her from like ship to ship to ship. She's been on so many cruises with them. So that was pretty doggone cool. So yeah, it's a different world. It's a different world. You don't feel like you're commoditized. Like, you know, sometimes on the big ships, you kind of feel like a commodity when you're walking around, you know, because there's just so many people and they're just trying desperately to get through everybody. Whereas on this ship, they have time. They can talk to you. They can take the time to talk. So it really is a different way. Kind of like Virgin Voyages is a different way of cruising because it's all adult and it's nearly all inclusive, and they have a different way of doing things. It's the same thing with Oceania. It's just a different way of doing things. It's more relaxed. I guess that's really the best way to describe it. More relaxed, and dang, are you going to eat good? Oh my God, are you going to eat good? So much good food on Oceania. Amazing, amazing. So, well, with that, I think, wow, we've been doing this for 90 minutes. I didn't intend to do that. So if you got any last minute question, feel free to pop them up. I'll remind you that if there's anything we can do, we are Where's Walter Travel. We are a full service travel agency. We've been absolutely blessed by so much work from all y'all. Gary is asking, and I don't know if that's Jerry, maybe it's Jerry with a G. Did Rebecca like the food?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed I mean, like I said, for me, the weakest part were the desserts, and I didn't overly care for the ice cream, but the sorbets they had were amazing.
I like the ice cream. The sorbets were ridiculous.
But I certainly did not go the least bit hungry at all. And
no, she did not.
Yeah.
No, she did not. So, Christy, what was the cruise? What was the cruise for Alaska? Again, the cruise for Alaska is the Oceania Riviera, and it sails June 26th through July 8th. So we are going to spend the 4th of July. 4th of July on the ship, which should be pretty fun. What is the 4th of July? We will be in Sitka, Alaska for the 4th of July. So I don't know what they do in Sitka, but I guess we'll find out.
Well, I think that's one of the tender ports.
It is.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of an earlier end to the day.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it's on Oceania. It is 12 nights, 8 ports, it's basically all inclusive, because not only do you get the whole Simply More package, but you get the drinks package add-on, so you can have cocktails and beer and wine anywhere you want, and the gratuities are taken care of. So it's basically an all-inclusive, nearly all-inclusive cruise. Aaron is asking for the best bite of food for both of us.
Wow, that's
Wow,
hard.
that's hard. There's so much good food on that
I mean,
ship.
the fresh grilled shrimp and lobster were lovely in the
Yeah.
buffet.
Yeah.
The lobster pad thai that we had in the main dining room was lovely. The miso fish that you had in red ginger was lovely.
The best thing was exactly what everybody told me it would be. It's the Peking duck and watermelon salad. It's just hard to describe. Like Carson said, the cruise director, Carson said he does not like watermelon, and he gets that salad all the time because he loves it so much. So, yeah, and even something as simple, Aaron, as the burgers, because they were like handmade patties. So I've gotten so used to, even on Virgin Voyages, they have those crappy little patties that they make. So the picture makes it look like, oh, it's a beautiful burger. Even Virgin Voyages doesn't have a great burger. Oceania had a great hamburger, and of course I got the lobster medallion. Put that on top.
And did have pizza every day at lunchtime, which was okay.
It's okay.
Better than Sorrento's.
Sorry, Christy, but better than Sorrento's.
But and you definitely needed to get it when it just came out of the oven.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad, but it was definitely, for me, being the age I'm at, I want my calories to mean something.
Yeah,
and if I'm not really enjoying it, I'm not going to bother finishing.
Even like Virgin, even on Valiant Lady, the pizza wasn't as good as the first time we were on Scarlet Lady. Like they've done something, like they made the pizza smaller and
the smaller I didn't mind, but there was I don't know what it was.
Something was a little different about it this time too. But yeah, so the pizza was the weak link there. But God, there's just so much good stuff. And it's like, it's hard for me to remember. I got to go back and watch the videos because we ate so much food. Because I kept going, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. Like there's just so much stupid food. I remember on Christmas night, boy, what a magical night Christmas was. We're sitting out the Terrace Cafe, which is a beautiful terrace on the very back of the ship. And it was at night. We had the Getaway on one side, Vista was over here, and then we had like the lights on the other side of Puerto Rico. And it was just such a magical night. And I had the made to order lobster, shrimp, and the steak. It was so incredibly good. Aaron, so do I prefer the food on Oceania or Virgin? Overall, I'd take Oceania. However, the best steak still that I've had, the two best steaks I've had, the Crown Grill on Princess, and then that steak I just had on Extra Virgin, which is way over the top. But I think overall, there's more selection. Like the galley, especially at night, the galley is very limited in what you can get. So if you're not going to a restaurant at night on Virgin Voyages, the galley, there's no ramen, there's no sandwiches. It's stupid. I don't understand why you don't get ramen. Is a late night thing, right? So in terms of like getting food for dinner, there's more things. Now there's no 24-hour dining on Oceania except for room service, which is included, by the way. And room service is made fresh when you order it. So there's 24-hour room service if you want it. So it's almost a toss-up, but I would kind of take Oceania because there was more options at night. And that menu really changed every single night. They don't have those individual, like they don't have the Mexican restaurant, or they have a little bit of that on the other ships. But
I would say probably I'd agree. Overall, I'd probably pick Oceania, although there's certainly items on Virgin.
Right. But overall, the selection, the quality, the preparation, and the fact that like when at the galley, you've got servers kind of handing you stuff. When you were going through the buffet, the chefs were actually there. Like, and like the executive chef of Oceania was in there every single night. The head maitre d' of the entire ship was up in the buffet every single night, even though they had a full dining room running downstairs. They kept coming up and checking in on that and all the chefs. So it is different, two different experiences. I would say overall, like Virgin Voyages, hands down, best of all the mainstream cruise lines. Of all the cruise lines that we've sailed, I would give that edge to Oceania right now. Yeah, for sure. Overall. I mean, lobster made to order every single night. Lobster sandwiches for out by the pool grill. That's hard to top. Do they have a casino? Absolutely, they do. Oceania has a casino on every single ship. It's a blink and you'll miss it on the Sirena.
Yeah, I'd
There
say it was,
were
what, about 4 tables?
4 to 6 blackjack tables, and then they had the roulette table. They did not have a craps table. That kind of surprised me. I believe they do have craps on the larger ships. And then
probably
slot
about a
machines.
dozen or so slot machines.
Oh, more than that, about
Really?
30 slot
Okay.
machines. Yeah. But a lot of them were older slot machines. So they are not like the newer modern slot machines at all. But yeah, Jerry, it is really small. However, it was quite active. So there was like this pattern. You know, every night in the Sirena Lounge, we had a 9:30 show that would end at about 10:15. And then suddenly the casino would get rather active. Everybody would move out and go on over to the casino.
It pretty much did have like little tournaments every day, like
Yep,
poker and blackjack and something else.
So there was a $2,500 limit on the table. So minimum bet was either 15 or 25, but maximum bet was 2,500. So pretty high stakes on the blackjack, at least for me. Maybe for some of these people it isn't, but $2,500 bet would be pretty rich for me.
We're not really casino people. So
I used to work for the world's largest casino, and I know how the house works, so I don't bother.
But honestly, I think it's probably the right size for the amount of passengers that exist.
Totally the right size. No smoking in the casino. If you want to smoke inside, you have to go to the smoking room. And the outdoor smoking area was on deck 9. Yeah,
it was close to the pool on
the pool
I forget which side of the ship.
So, I mean, such a small casino, no smoking in the casino, which was actually kind of nice. But it, again, you know, when I first walked on, I was like, wow, this is really small. But then as the week went on, I was like, oh, it's like exactly the right size. There's a good crowd in here. They're having fun. But I was surprised that there was no craps. You know, craps is always such a big, you know, casino game. But you had the blackjack tables there. And like Rebecca said, they had the tournaments running, various tournaments. And they didn't necessarily have a dedicated poker table, but I know they had poker tournaments going on. They may have used one of the blackjack tables for poker. I don't know, but I don't play. So, but yeah, it was a nice little casino. It really was. And it looks like it was well managed. And people were having fun. The only thing that I think they probably should do at some point is at least update the slot machines, because there's a lot of modern machines out there that do a lot of things. But yeah, it was a good. It looked like people were having fun. But yeah, little tiny slot casino, and then the Martini piano bar was right there, so it was actually kind of perfect. You know, you had the piano bar going, you had a really nice bar right there. You had the casino set up, so it actually was a nice little setup. And again, probably perfect for a ship that size. Keep in mind, this ship is like 30,000 gross tons, something like that. How big is the Riviera? So the Riviera is 66,000 gross tons. So Sirena is probably like 30,000 gross tons. A very small ship. The Icon of the Seas, which is sitting over in Puerto Rico right now, 235,000 gross tons, I think it is. So, you know, the Sirena would fit in Central Park. Basically, that's how small the ship is. Literally, it would fit in Central Park. The Scarlet Lady was massive next to her, and Scarlet Lady is not that big of a ship. Scarlet Lady is a big-sized ship. So, but it's lovely. You know, if you have the opportunity to go sail on an R-class ship, do it. Do it. This year, 2024, Oceania has the Regatta up in Alaska, which is this ship, the same 650-passenger ship, is in Alaska this year. So if you want to go to Alaska in 2024 and you want to try the small ship, it's up there. We have a group cruise on this ship, the Oceania Sirena. It's doing, this is a cool one too. We have a new partnership with Cruise RX, which is a YouTube channel. They're doing 20 days Panama Canal in April of 2025 on the Sirena. It's round trip Miami. Wow, wait, Panama Canal, round trip Miami? How does that work? Well, you're going to do a Western Caribbean cruise. You're going to go all the way through the Panama Canal to Panama City. You're going to stay there overnight. Then you're going to come back through the Panama Canal. And now you're going to do an ABC itinerary in the Caribbean before you come back to Miami over 20 days on the Oceania Sirena. That is going to be an awesome cruise too. So actually, we got a lot going on in 2025. We got that Panama Canal cruise. We've got the Alaska cruise happening. We've got the Norwegian Aqua, which can be the brand new ship coming out. We might even be booking a wedding on that ship. Who knows? Might be our third wedding.
One thing I will suggest is, definitely when you're packing for these longer cruises, plan on getting laundry done. On the Sirena, there is a laundrette, which is entirely free. The soap is, you can go and iron, but they also will offer, you get bags of laundry done. I want to say it's 20 pieces of laundry for like around $24, $25.
Yeah. And if you have concierge level, it's included. You get like 2 or 3 bags.
I think 3. Yeah.
3 bags. So if you got the concierge level, you got 3 bags.
And our full-size luggage, at first I was like, oh, I can't get it under the bed. But it had a lip on the underneath of the bed, and Walter just lifted up the bed a little bit, and then I could get the luggage under there to get it out of the way.
So like Tony showed when he went transatlantic with Holland America, you don't have to bring 25 days worth of clothes. You can bring just 7 days or 10 days worth of clothes, and you build in laundry days as you go along. So okay, folks, we're going to wrap this up. We've been going for a while here. We don't typically go this long at night. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I know it's been a very, very long time since we've been on. We're going to plan to come back live on Sunday from Key West. We will not be on YouTube on Sunday. We will only be on TikTok just because of the limitations of streaming from a ship. So if you're watching us right now on YouTube and you want to tune in on Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m., hop on over to the TikTok channel. We'll be over there, hopefully at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed the live. Certainly, we try to do this every Thursday night at 8:30. We usually try to get some of our travel guests to come on, some of our travel partners to come on. And hopefully we'll be starting that again soon. We've got Avalon Waterways is coming on. We're working on getting Riverside river cruises to come on. So we're working on getting some new river cruises to show up in this new year. And Tamika is going to be back from Virgin Voyages very, very soon as well. So folks, thanks for tuning in on a Thursday night. We really do appreciate it. If there's anything at all that we can do for you, just reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. If you're watching on TikTok, just click our little logo and you will find a link to contact us right there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just simply go down in the description. There is a link in the description. Where's WalterTravel.com. Once again, our services are 100% free. We hope that we will never have to charge for our services, but right now they're 100% free, and we really do enjoy helping you all take amazing vacations. So we're over on the YouTube side. Y'all have an amazing evening. We'll see you guys on Sunday morning on TikTok and on the TikTok